Okay, now this doesn't work. Hey, and welcome. Sharing some goodies on the camera. Reason why we are late. Today we are 2 months old. So let me set up everything. Because apparently we needed to change. And that caused some time delay. Okay. Camera is on. Look. Hoping to increase my seat, my click-through rate. Presenting Zara Bolojan. That's our bundle of joy. Just came out 2 months ago from my belly. There you go. Whee! Okay. Starting a bit less official, the session. Zara is going to be with us for the next few seconds. Afterwards, I'm going to pass her over to Daddy so I can reply all your Amazon-related questions. But just wanted to make a quick intro. This is Zara Bolojan. All right, cool. And we got viewers. Brilliant. As our cat, here are these receipts on the table. And welcome everyone. My name is Noemi. I'm founder of Scalewave. Today I am featuring Zara Bolojan, our amazing daughter, who's today 2 months old, in the hope of increasing our click-through rate with some sweetness, additional sweetness. All right, guys, so today's session is going to last, I aim for 1 full hour. It might be that the baby is going to start crying and I might need to go and help out, but aiming for staying here for a full hour. During this session, this is one of our Amazon Ask Me Anything Amazon Ads related sessions where I'm going to answer all your questions that are Amazon Ads related. I'm going to prioritize beginner questions. Simple reason for that is because beginner questions are the ones that I had almost 6 years ago right now, if I'm thinking back, and no one really knew how to answer them because whenever I got an answer, I got so complex answer, and I'm aiming with this session to answer as clean, as easy, as simple as possible. So that's what the session is for. Hi, baby, hi, and hello from Zara. She's starting to become fussy, so I'm going to pass her on just in a few seconds, but we're still waiting for a few more moments until more people are arriving. So hello again, my name is Noemi for the ones who just joined the session, and I'm the founder of Scalewave. We are an agency that specializes in Amazon ads, and today's topic is going to be Amazon ads. If you have any business related questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. We're currently streaming on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also on Instagram. So if you see me like looking like this and going through all the channels and windows that I have here open, so now you know why that is. All right, cute baby. And it did improve our CTR, which is amazing. Already contributing to the marketing of the family. All right, guys. So in a short few seconds, I'm going to go through the questions that are, some of them have been previously submitted. Some of them are going to be here in the chat section, but just letting you know on whenever you're not seeing the question in the chat section, that is the reason why. All right, passing off, baby. We are 4 minutes in. People are already arriving, and I believe we can start right away. Although I'm going to maybe keep her as long as she's not crying. Let's see if we can go through some of the sessions. So a few questions here, timer on, great, brilliant. So the first question is, can wholesale brands successfully use Amazon ads, and how should their strategy differ? So wholesale is basically, what it means is that you're going to buy the product, someone else's product who's already a private label. So you're not going to create your own brand, but you're piggybacking on the brand positioning of a brand that already selling their product. And what you're going to do, you're going to make a good deal with them to get their product, right? And then you're going to sell it on Amazon. And the question is, should Can wholesale brands successfully use Amazon PPC? Yes, they can. The only trick here, or the only differentiation when it comes down to wholesale versus private label. Now, when it comes down to wholesale, mainly those ads are going to be branded terms. What I'm seeing, that is more benefic for wholesale products. Why? Is because anyhow, if you're already purchasing wholesale, your margins are going to shrink just because you have to also purchase the brand's product and then sell it and then also advertise for it. So I think that is the only thing that I'm seeing when it comes down to strategy that is being different. It's not that it's not so different when it comes down to strategy. You can still go for ranking if you want to go for ranking keywords, your own brand name, or you have specific terms that are are working really well for the product. You can definitely do that. However, what I'm seeing really, that is the only difference. If you're selling wholesale, really it's a margin thing. So let me know if that helped. All right. And second question, what are the biggest lessons brands typically learn after spending money on Amazon PPC? I think what brands do learn that no one really wants to talk about is when it comes down to ad spend and when it comes down to ACOS. I'm seeing many posts that are going to promote on, look, this is the way how we optimized this brand's ACOS and we reduced the ACOS. Now, don't get me wrong, that is great if you can do that for wasted ad spend. By wasted ad spend, let's define it. We are referring to ad spend that it's not converting whatsoever. So in that case, if you're reducing the ACOS, it's great. However, what is going to happen most of the time is that because you want to over-optimize towards profitability, a brand's revenue, what can happen is that you are going to cut off yourself from the market share that you have. And this is something that it's hard to also explain to brands, especially those who are very profit conscious, because what's going to happen is that if you're going to, let's say you're ranking well for one keyword that is highly describing your product. In this case, let's say baby diapers, right? Baby's in my hand. The first thing that I'm thinking of is baby diapers. Now, let's say that you are ranking organically on the first page for that keyword and you're in the middle of the page. And if you want to keep your organic ranking, you would also run some advertising to ensure that you're also going to increase your organic ranking. Now, what is going to happen usually is that if you're going to spend less and less on those placements, and don't get me wrong, if people are going to genuinely buy your product, baby diaper, when they are going to try baby diaper and your product is going to anyhow be purchased, that is different, because then organically, yes, it's going to stick. But if baby diaper, for example, you're having a baby diaper as a product and it's a new launch and you're not showing up on the first page of Amazon and you want to show up because you have to make sales for your product, in that case, what's going to happen is that if you're not investing to gain additional market share or gain some market share, at least at this point, if we are launching a new product, right? Then what's going to happen is that, yes, your ACOS is going to go down because you are optimizing towards profitability. However, all the efforts of bringing those eyeballs to your product is going to be gone. So let me know if that helped. All right. Great. So there is baby. Some more baby goodness. All right. Next question is, oh, great question. Okay, so someone is asking from LinkedIn, how it's possible to increase net profit by nearly 30% within the next 90 days of Amazon, regardless of the niche? Scale your net profit. Quite easy. I would look into what is not advertising, right? Because you would be expecting me to talk about advertising, clearly. But what is happening most of the time is that brands are not aware of the fact that advertising is just the one lever, right? You are selling a physical product. Now, how can you increase your profitability for that physical product? And in these scenarios, what I would look into, first thing that most people are not thinking about it is price. Can you increase your price and still make sales? Because if so, you can definitely increase your net profit without even changing anything. And also you're generating additional income to spend on your advertising in this case, right? So if you can do that, if you can increase your price of the product and the product is still selling, right, that would be one of the things that is not ad related, and yet you can increase the price. All right, I think I'm going to pass the baby because she becomes fussy. Be right back. Okay, be right back. All right, and I am back. Hello, hello. Okay. So that is the one thing that I would look into. Can I increase my price of the product? And the way how we would increase it, we would never increase it right away with like a huge amount. We are starting with 10%, 20%, 10% of the pricing, or even $1 to see increase, 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 increase. And then once that we increased it enough, we want to make sure that we're not going to trigger this Amazon's, couch, how do you call it, price gouging stuff that is going to just suspend your listing. So whenever you're going to test this, make sure that it's going to be gradually increased. So this is one of the things that you can do, definitely. Now, another thing can be also helpful when it comes down to increasing, again, 30%, that is super specific. Now, I'm not sure if you can do it by 30% or not, but this would be the second things that we would be looking into. Whatever works already, how can we optimize it to be more efficient? And that is going to be the main image, so the clicks. If you're getting more clicks, then you're increasing your chance also for the product to be bought. And then the second thing, once that you improve your main image, the rest of the images is going to persuade whoever clicked on your product to purchase your product. So I think everything what I shared so far, it's not even ad related, but are going to help increase profitability. Let me know if that helped. And then, of course, when it comes down to increasing profit margins, what we can do is look through all the ads and all our spend for the past 30 days, for example, and whatever is not anything anymore in the strategy, so ad related strategy, and we can pause. Technically what you're creating for yourself a budget for testing and also for duplicating whatever already works. So main point is go into and look if you can increase price, go into and look into the main image, the rest of the images, and then the fourth one only is going to be advertising, because on the advertising side, then you can reallocate budget for the things that work or that you want to test. Let me know if that helped. Okay, now that my hands are free as well, I can also check mark here all the questions that we already answered. Cool. So next question is, what makes an Amazon PPC campaign truly effective? Now, when it comes down to effectiveness, it's really important to understand how do we define effectiveness and what are we looking for? Because effective, it can be if you want to, I just gave this answer for the previous question, that if you want to limit all the spend that is wasted spend and reallocate the spend towards campaigns that are well performing, that is already effective, right? So if you want to limit all the waste and allocate it to something that already works. But then the second thing is we want to understand what effective means. So for example, in Scaleway, we have 5 strategies based on which we're running any campaign, right? So if it's going to be brand defense campaign. Now think of it this way. If, for example, brands who are selling similar products to yours, they are going to use your brand name in order for their product to be found, and you're not advertising for your brand name, technically an effective strategy here is going to be to advertise for your own brand name. Why? Because people already are looking for your product, and if you're showing up within the first searches on the page, people are highly likely going to purchase your product, not someone else's product. In that case, this strategy can become effective. Now, we also have campaigns where we are piggybacking on listings that are not well optimized. Again, someone else who's selling a product similar to ours, where we can showcase our product, that strategy also can become effective, especially if keywords themselves, the cost per click is super expensive for them. So again, that is already considered effective. Now, what else? Ranking campaigns. Ranking campaigns also can become effective because with ranking campaigns, what you want to do is keep your market share and or increase it if possible. So in that scenario, if you're going to get more sales by bidding on specific keywords that are working for you and bringing sales, technically a campaign is still effective, right? Now also we have these dominate campaigns, which basically is placement modifier, where we see that on a specific placement, our ad is already performing well and we would increase those placements so we can show up more on those placements and we can gain more dominance on them. In that case, also that campaign can be effective if it's within the strategy. And also we do have the discovery campaigns. In that scenario, what we're going to do is basically any campaign that is not an exact match, those are going to become discovery campaigns, and those are the campaigns that are going to pull data and pull search terms that you might be not bidding for in exact terms. Those can also become effective if they are within the strategy. So back to your question, what makes an Amazon PPC campaign truly effective? Knowing what the strategy behind is. Because if it's not within the strategy, it means it's not effective, right? It can work well, but the question is, can you replicate the same success? Let me know if that helped. Okay, cool. Next question, how can I increase the chances of showing up in top of search placements? Awesome. So I just answered to a question similar to this, where I touch base on top of search placement. Basically, this is whenever someone is looking for your product. Again, we were giving the keyword baby diaper. You would show up within the first results on the first page of Amazon. Now, that is a top of search placement. The way how you're going to assure that you're showing up there or keep yourself there when advertising is that you're going to increase your campaign, like the modifier when it comes down to top of search placement. There are 3 placements: top of search, so the first ones, rest of search, which is anywhere else, and then product pages. This is on specific products that you would advertise on. So this is the way how you can increase your chances of showing up in top of search. Let me know if that helped. Right, cool. So next question is, what does a profitable Amazon PPC strategy actually look like? When it comes down to profitable Amazon PPC strategy, I like to think of it, are we optimizing for keeping our market share, or are we optimizing to increase more market share? Profitable can also mean that overall, one campaign can have 100% ACoS. The other campaign can have a 10% ACoS. But on an account level, it's still we're profitable. And why am I saying that is because most of the time I think that this is the thing that it was so unclear to me as well, especially in the first year when I started Amazon ads and I was running ads on my own brand. And I was like seeing, oh, it's 50% ACoS. Can I decrease it to be 40%? And I could, and I decreased it. Yet, the one keyword that I constantly show up for and brought me a lot of sales, I did not show up on the, for example, top of search placement for it. And technically what I did created a cheaper option for myself to make sales, yet I cut down on the main revenue driving revenue driving activity, which is the top of placement where my ad showed up for the specific keyword. And what happened is that, yes, I became more profitable, but on the long term, I just like, I was not taking any more market share for that specific keyword. So when it comes down to profitability, I think it's important to understand profitability is on an account level rather than profitable for this specific campaign. Because if you can be on an account level profitable, you're still profitable overall. Some campaigns are going to be ranking campaigns, they are going to be more expensive, or dominant campaigns where you go for a specific placement modifier, which, you know, it's going to be expensive to stay on top of search placement. But that is how I would define what does profitability looks like, or a profitability strategy on Amazon. Let me know if that helped. Okay, sipping one more. Oops, that was loud. Cool. So next question is, if my PPC performance has dropped, where should I start troubleshooting? Great question. And let me give you some insights on, especially at the beginning when I started Amazon ads, because I implemented all the tips, tricks, all the latest. This is how I make X amount of sales with 10% ACOS, so all the latest, clickbaity stuff that I could have, I implemented on my account. And what I noticed is that while some of them worked really well, my personal issue was that I was not able to replicate success just because I did not have the reps. I did not know what made the campaign successful, because once that I started the campaign, it worked well, but then it didn't. And then it was very hard for me to pinpoint exactly what was causing that. So now, if I'm looking back and zooming out for clarity, and after 6 years, the first thing that I would be doing is, if your PPC performance has dropped, the first thing that you should be troubleshooting is not PPC elements, but non-PPC. And this is, again, a real story that we had a few years ago, when we were running ads for this specific brand. And then what we noticed is that we made no more impressions, we didn't spend anything, and so on. And this happened for a few days, and we were like, okay, what is going on? Because we are advertising, we increased the bids. And what we did not know back then, again, now we know better, and now we are monitoring on a daily basis for this. We lost our buy box, which means is that even if you were running ads, your product was not visible, therefore Amazon could not push it for advertising. So first off, what I would be doing, make sure that you're creating a checklist of all the non-ad related things that could have happened to your listing. Again, listing suspension, clearly you're not going to spend. If you lost buy box, so you're not showing up anymore, when it comes down to your listing, again, you're not going to spend. And if you ruled out all those things, then you're going to the PPC section of it, right? So what is PPC related? The moment the performance has dropped, what I can assume is that you might be over optimizing. So you cut down on bids too quickly and too much, and now all the impressions, so everyone who could find your product, they're not finding it anymore. That is also something that can help you in this situation, or help cause the situation of PPC performance issue. So those are the things that I would be look into. And if it's nothing like that, if your product is there, if your listing is active, if you still have the buy box, if you're bidding high enough, and you're still, your performance, it's dropping in sense of, here I'm thinking performance drops, sales are going down on specific keywords, you can also just open up a ticket with Amazon ad support and ask them, okay, look, this is what's happening right now on an account. This is what I know that is working. This is what I am thinking it's working. Can you just give me a feedback or redirect me? So those would be my steps in order to find out what is going on with troubleshooting. And again, here we can go into way more in depth on, is the CPC too high? Is it a special day like Prime Day is going to come up? Is it that my competitor or someone from my competitor just came in, they are just advertising super aggressively and my bids are not even showing up? So that could be also an issue. But first, I would rule out everything that it's not advertising related. Right, cool. All right, next question. What should be included in a complete Amazon PPC audit? So when it comes down to Amazon PPC audit, then we would think on the advertising side, right? What we love to do when it comes down to audits, we like to understand the account itself, where it stands now and where it stood like for the past 30 days. Why is that important? Is because then you're going to have a screenshot of whatever worked, whatever did not work, and whatever you can improve. So what we like to do is, whenever we are generating audits, we like to pull the data for the past 30 days and look specifically on which are the ad types that are currently running, what is the percentage rate for each ad type, Then if there are specific placements that are working well, which are those? If there are specific keywords that are working well, which are those? If there are specific keywords that are not working well, which are those? We like to look into how messy and how clean an account is. Now for the brand, maybe it's nonsensical and it doesn't make sense for them. However, actually it makes sense, because the moment that you are going to open up a campaign and it's like totally you cannot find why a campaign was created or the strategy behind, or the campaign name is not clear to understand at least what is within the campaign, that's also, those are red flags, because you don't know whoever managed the account beforehand, what they do, what they've done with the account. And if they didn't have clarity when it comes down even these small steps, actually probably on an account level they didn't have clarity. So those are the things that we like to do when it comes down. Now, of course, if there's a best-selling product, we like to look at that product, how does it performs, and if the product is profitable or not. But these are really, I think, the most important things when it comes down to audits. Now, stepping back and just zooming out for clarity, while we like to do our own audit when it comes down to, okay, how hard or how difficult it's going to be for us to take over this account, for example, because that is also like additional, hey, if I'm saying that I can help you, I have to make sure that I can help you. And how long would it take normally to take over the account, for example? But if it comes down to the account owner has specific problems and specific questions, that is a specific audit, for example. So let me know if it helped. Feel free to follow up on the question. But basically what is important for us to know, okay, a whole view of the account for the last 30 days, what worked, what didn't work, which are the terms that the account spends on and they are not performing well. And then, of course, the percentage of sponsored brands, sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, which are the ad types for this specific account, and then what is the percentage that is going to be run on each account. All right, cool. So it's getting really warm here. We're halfway through. Okay, next question. What are the fastest ways to increase impressions for my ad campaigns? The fastest way is increase your bids. I know it sounds like intuitive, but really the fastest way it is to increase your bids. And once that you increase your bids and you still see that people are not clicking on their listing, it can be a conversion issue. So only then I would be looking into improving your main images. The reason for that is because I'm going to be honest with you. There are many categories where the main image, while it's important, it's still, it doesn't matter so much. And in those categories, if we're spending more, so if we're showing up higher on the search page, we can still convert, right? And that is also a fastest way for us to increase our impressions. For other categories where they're very competitive, beauty niche, pet niche, supplements niche, those are way more competitive. So there are people already, because they're paying so much in advertising, and one cost per click, it can go up to $17, $20, $50, honestly, as high as you want to, in order to get that top of placement, top of search placement. So that's why I'm saying that first off, I would just increase my bids to make sure that I have visibility. Then I would go into incognito, check that I do show up within the first page of Amazon, especially if I want to get to the top of search placement and I want to be seen, the product want to be seen. And then if that is already the case and I'm still not getting not even clicks, I would look into what's up with my main image. When it comes down to, again, look for the keyword that you're advertising for in an incognito window, and then see, okay, who else is showing up for that specific keyword and how do they compare to me. And if you see that, hey, my image actually looks really bad compared to them, then you will realize, okay, so it's not anymore as much as an impression issue, because you did gain impressions, so people can see more your product, but you did not get the click, the conversion. Let me know if that helped. All right, guys, so feel free to ask any questions that you might have that is also business related. I'm still here for the next 10 more minutes with you. And again, for who just joined, my name is Noemi. I am the founder of ScaleWave. We are Amazon Ads specialized agency. We are helping brands, especially 6, 7 figure brands, scale on Amazon with Amazon advertising. And today's session is an Ask Me Anything session where you can submit here in the comment section your questions. And also I'm going through a few questions that have been already submitted beforehand. Okay. Cool question. It's asking, what does it take to truly master Amazon PPC? When it comes down to mastery, I think there was one question that was asking, how do I troubleshoot? More and more, I'm zooming out and understanding what mastery takes, because I'm seeing this Amazon ads expert and so on. And don't get me wrong, it can be that many people are experts within their field, but right now the word expert, it became washed down, washed off, or how would you call it? But everyone is using it. And just because you've been studying for the past month or for the past 3 months or even for the past year Amazon ads, that does not make you an expert. What makes you an expert is quickly you can troubleshoot right away what is going on within an account, and if it's not performing the way how it should, what triggered that. So the way how I like to define mastering Amazon ads is quickly troubleshoot what is going on and be able to fix it right away, and at least have 2, 3 ideas to what to improve next. That does makes you an expert. That does help you to truly master Amazon ads. If you are, hey, I learned these tricks and tips and I'm going to apply to this account and it's going to work perfectly, that's great. That's also how I started, but that does not makes you a master or an expert to it. I just wanted to highlight that because most of the time what I'm seeing, especially in our niche, now that it became so highly competitive, is that everyone's going to call themselves experts. And again, I'm not saying that they might not know Amazon ads, but what's happening is that they are calling themselves experts, yet they did not have the time to put in the reps. Think of it this way. More that you know, more you realize what you don't know, right? And then more that you are learning, quicker you notice patterns. So when it comes down to Amazon ads or mastery or expertise in this sense, it's going to be how quickly are you able to recognize that patterns and also come with a strategy to solve whatever issue or troubleshoot whatever is going on in an account. Okay. I think our last question. It's going to be, how do I adjust spending limits without disrupting campaign performance? Great question. So when it comes down to spending limits without disrupting campaign performance, first off, I would ask you, why would you want to adjust your spending limits? Reason for that, if ads are performing well for you, you should not be tinkering around, your budget limits. Why? Is because what we don't want to do is we don't want to say Amazon, like, this works really well for me, this campaign, but I'm just going to allow it only $50 per day to run, In case that it comes down to you want to manage inventory because you are running out of stock, that is a different issue. But when it comes down to disrupting campaign performance, here I'm assuming that the campaign already performs well, and what you want to do is just limit its spending. So in that scenario, what I would personally do, I would not tinker with the budget in sense of I would not limit it. I would increase the budget. And if the performance still continues to be the same, best performing campaigns, those are the ones that we are always going to increase our budgets, because those are the ones that already proved to us that are working. For those, we would never limit spend when it comes down to that. Now, of course, when it comes down to limitation, you can ask maybe on a daily basis, could I just make sure that I'm not spending, whatever Amazon wants to spend and like a lot of money? You can definitely do that. However, here I'm just like zooming out for clarity. Why? What is the reasoning behind? Because based on that, I can give you a better answer. Let me know if this is going to be helpful for you. Cool. So this was the last question. Thank you so much for watching. We are 40 minutes in. Again, my name is Noemi. I am the founder of ScaleWave. We're an agency specialized in Amazon advertising, and we're helping brands scale on Amazon with Amazon ads. If you found value in this episode, please feel free to check our next episode, our other episodes as well. We have these on a Tuesday, on a weekly basis. Every Tuesday we are running these ones. So if you found value in this one, feel free to check out those ones as well. If you're a brand looking for, next person to manage your advertising, feel free to book a free strategy call with me or someone from my team. We would love to go and audit whatever is going on right now in your account and see how could we help you increase your sales even more, if that is the plan. But yeah, let me know if you found value in this one. You can drop in the comment section below if you found this valuable. If you have specific questions that are Amazon ads related, feel free also to drop in the comment section. Even if we don't have time now, what I'm doing with these questions, I'm just going to save them, and then next session I'm going to answer them. All right, thanks once again for watching. My name is Noemi again with ScaleWave. Appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to tune in next Tuesday when I will be back at 1 p.m. EST, Florida time. Wrapping up for now. Thank you. Have an amazing Tuesday ahead. Take care. Bye.